Hello and welcome back to the Business Growth Accelerator. My guest today is Amanda Horvath, and she's a YouTube guru, and she has a very active channel in which she teaches people how to produce video for online channels in the best way. And this entire episode is pure gold when it comes to how to produce effective video content. We're going to cover today things like how to produce amazing video that provide value to your audience, how to figure out your value so you can convey it in the best way to your audience, how to get comfortable in front of the camera, which gear you need to use, secrets to productive editing, what common mistakes you must avoid, how to outsource all the tedious work that comes with video, and many more topics. So don't miss a second of this amazing episode. Brilliant.
So the trick is that first and foremost, like there's several steps, but I think too many people jump straight into the deep end with video. So before we even get to the gear that you need or anything like that, this is such an internal journey. So you have to start by doing the internal work. Who are you? That's one of the hardest things to answer. And what value do you provide in the world? So I really say that if you're going on this journey, if you're going to start with video, if you start there and you focus on going on a journey, then that will automatically start to attract an audience. And the way that this happens, just to kind of fast forward, let's pretend for a second, like, okay, I know how to do video. When you first create a video, it's going to be so cringeworthy. You're going to want to crawl into a corner and die, like truly. And what happens is you release that first video, and there's all this fear and everything associated with someone looking at you and saying, "Oh, Sar looks ridiculous. What is he doing?" and laughing at you and whatever it is, right? But then you release another video and another video and another video. And your fifth video is better than your first video. And your 10th video is definitely better than your first video. Now that person that was making fun of you is like, wait a second, he's doing something. What is he doing? I want to follow. If you can just trust that it's going to work, it works. It worked for me. It's worked for so many people. It can work for you too, but you have to first believe that it can work. So that's definitely the first step, is just to like, you know what? I'm making this happen. I'm putting my foot down, and no matter what, I'm going to figure it out. And then you have to get clear on the value that you provide. Now, there's a couple of different ways to go about this. So for the value that you provide, I personally recommend looking to your past and looking at the patterns that have popped up throughout your life that continuously pop up. So you can look at like, what are the things that you love to do in elementary school, middle school, high school, areas that you've studied, and all these different things to start to find, oh, this is who I am. This is the core of who I am. And then you pick out like the major patterns, and from there, create an explainer statement. So an explainer statement is something that tells people, I have a framework that I use, and it's in my quick start guide to video, which is a quick 15-minute video that you can get on my website. So it's like, I help blank do blank without blank, whatever their hesitation is that they're struggling with. So
Sure.
if you can package that together, it makes it super clear for you what you're doing, who you serve, and what you're helping someone overcome. That right there alone, like, is everything for your content strategy. The thing about saying it every single time is it keeps you on track, because you have to say, is this in alignment with what I promised my audience? And the audience almost gets tired of hearing it, and you're programming them to be able to explain what you do to others. And that's how word of mouth spreads about you.
What's your sentence?
So I'm Amanda Horvath, and I'm all about helping business owners and entrepreneurs leverage the power of video without breaking the bank or taking up tons of their time.
Brilliant. Phenomenal.
Yeah.
I love it.
Now you have to actually learn the skills. How do you create videos? So I recommend learn that before you get to the point where you're committing to weekly video. Like, don't stress yourself out. And I did that too. Even though I came from a video production background, getting on camera, there's nothing like getting on camera. You can't mentally understand what it's like to get on camera until you sit down and you actually do it. So no amount of skills is going to help you do that. When you understand the full process, you understand that, oh, it's not a big deal if I mess up. I don't have to do this perfectly. Still to this day, my videos are not perfect whenever I film them. Like, it takes me an hour to film one YouTube video still. So it's knowing that that's okay to settle all of those nervous feelings that are going on inside of you. So really practicing that. And one exact tip, and you could do this today. So I challenge you to do this today.
Okay.
Set up your camera and do it to where it's on a tripod or something. It could be balanced on books or whatever, but you don't want to be holding it selfie style. So you put it there, and then you're just going to come up with a normal phrase like, I'm Amanda and I'm practicing my on-camera personality to see what looks good. So then you're going to say it in your normal voice. You'll do it in a 25% more excited voice, then a 50% more excited voice, and you're going to use your hands and move your shoulders and your head and see what that looks like. Then do 75% more excited, same thing with your hands, and then over the top, go crazy and watch it back, and you're going to realize, oh, that's why I hate my on-camera presence, because I'm talking in a normal voice and I look like a serial killer. So you'll immediately, just that exercise alone will make you feel so much more comfortable on camera. Now we can get into the exact gear that you need. I highly recommend your iPhone. Upgrade your phone instead of going and buying a camera. I really, really, really recommend that. Phones today, they shoot in 4K. You can update that in the settings of your phone, and it makes editing a lot easier too. That's what a lot of people don't realize. The second that you get higher quality gear, it's going to overcomplicate the editing process, and you don't want anything complicated in your life. Once you get really comfortable with your phone and editing and shooting on your phone, then you can upgrade. At that point, it's not a big deal.
Sure.
So there's a $30 microphone that I recommend called the Purple Panda microphone that is solid. Get a simple tripod that holds your phone, and then some really affordable lights off Amazon as well that are like $60. It's all listed at amandahorvath.com/gear if you just want to like click the links and go buy or whatever. So at this point, you were just learning, right? You were just learning the skills. And so then we get into the streamline kind of portion of it. So the big tip that I messed up for a long time at the beginning is you actually eventually want to get to the point where you're not scripting your videos. You want to work off of an outline. So now that you're comfortable on camera, you understand what looks good, what doesn't look good, you understand what a script structure looks like. All right, let's try to limit the pre-production time as much as possible. Because if you're writing a script every single day, or every single week, it's like 4 hours to write one of those. It takes forever. You can't sustain that. So come up with an outline following my script structure, and you're going to sit down once per month and you're going to record 4 videos in one sitting. So you have one long day. You have one go-to set that you use every single time. You're not trying to get creative and do all of these things to look cool, because let's be real, it's just your ego trying to look cool. If you just sit down and say the right things, people will listen. So focus on that. Keep it simple. One set, one time per month, less pre-production, as least pre-production as possible. Film 4 videos in one sitting. Editing, yes,
yeah.
Post-production.
Yeah.
So now you've shot all those videos, and the system that I've come up with in my DIY video roadmap, which honestly, if you pay one videographer to come shoot with you, like me personally, I had a $3,500 minimum fee essentially for me to show up and shoot a video towards the end of my career. At the beginning, you can get someone to kind of come in for cheaper, but overall, like $1,000 is really, really affordable. And that's what my course costs. So it's like, you should just take the course and learn to edit using my system, because it's going to save you so much time. So it's like a step-by-step process to systematize the process to cut down on editing as much as possible. And, there's like exact steps that go into it. And once you learn the system, it's all about outsourcing. So you upload the files to a Google Drive, you get it to someone, they know the exact system that you personally know to edit, AKA the one within my course or whatever, or you can develop your own system. Then they're doing 80% of the work. And the reason that I say they're doing 80% of the work is because you are the thought leader. Whatever it is that you're talking about, they don't understand what you're talking about necessarily. So there might be times where you repeat yourself twice and you say the same thing, but because they don't know the subject matter, they don't know that you're saying the same thing twice. So you need to be the final eyes, and it's really beneficial to be the final eyes too, because you get to see, like I always say, before you even start outsourcing, like edit your own videos for the same reason, but you get to see yourself messing up on camera. You get to see what looks good, what doesn't look good, and that will make your on-camera presence so much better. So there's a lot of benefit, in my opinion, to having to still do 20% of the editing, but it doesn't take you that much time because the 80% is what takes a ton of time. I plugged the whole keyword research thing, and that you do need to be doing keyword research. There are 2 plugins that I can't recommend enough for that, and these are the only 2 plugins that I personally use. You can overcomplicate the process, but TubeBuddy is a plugin for YouTube, and it helps tell you what the score is of keywords that you're searching for. So you can get into the toolbar, you can type in like how to shoot a video, and it'll be like, that's a terrible keyword because everyone has created a video about that. So then you can tweak the title and figure out ways to make it a little bit better. Then there is Keywords Everywhere, and this is another plugin that it'll tell you how many people are searching for that term each month. And so you can find like maybe, a smaller version of a keyword that has a lot of search volume, and then you kind of tweak it, add some more words around it to get it a higher score on TubeBuddy. And that's the very basic principles of getting ranked on YouTube, is having a really good title and good tags. So that tool, those 2 tools are key if you are genuinely using YouTube.